Good morning, everyone. It is a Monday morning here in the city of Windsor. Sun is out. It is a beautiful day here. It's Monday morning. So much opportunity this year. So much opportunity this week. Sorry, my cat is here on the couch. Um, he's a little distracting for me. But this particular video, I wanted to touch on something that's going on in my office right now. I have a client that back in the day, there were 4 clients that got through and bought rental properties with me. I have a high standard to reach the requirement of somebody who should buy rental properties. Just do. It's not for everyone. It's not for the people off the street necessarily. And so back when money was free, which it's getting to be free again, all of these people were coming to Windsor and saying, I want to buy a house. Houses are affordable down there. I can qualify for a house down in the city of Windsor. I want to buy a house down there. Okay, but what kind of business do you want to go into? What do you mean business, Brian? I don't want to go into any business. I simply want to buy a house and jam it full of renters and make money off the bank. It's the only chance I'm ever going to have to make money off the bank. Okay, what kind of business do you want to be in? Do you want to rent to single parents? Do you want to rent to students? What do you want to do? Help me to understand. Well, I don't know any of that, Brian. That was the response that I was getting from everyone. And I'm sorry, but if you didn't get through those questions with me, I would say to you and I would guide you and say, you better find a different realtor. Part of that is because with me, I don't like hurting anyone. And by asking good questions, I felt that if I helped that person, I would be hurting them economically, mentally, in so many different ways. And so I didn't help that many people. I helped 4. And all of those 4 all came back to me over the last couple of years and said, Brian, oh my God, Brian, you're the first realtor to tell us the truth. And we should have listened. But your position was just outlandish to us. We didn't understand that people don't pay rent. Because to us, people always pay their bills. It's the first thing they do. They would want to keep a roof over their head. We didn't understand that the government would step in and allow those people to stay living in our houses rent-free. We didn't understand that. But let me go back full circle for a moment. When I was growing up, my dad owned his own business, and he lent credit to people. Now, I only have one person that I've lent credit to right now. And it's not a pleasant place to be honest with you. But I've only lent up to the maximum. Period. End of discussion. Here's the maximum. That's it. Once you get there, good luck. You're not getting another dime. And that person is pretty much right up to that top. Now, I worked with that person yesterday, and I enjoy spending time with that person. So I only gave them the money that I was willing to lose. period, end of discussion. Here's the money that I'm willing to lose in my business. This is the max. So I'm comfortable with the concept that that person owes me some money. And it's not money that I need for anything else. It's the requirements of it. So the challenge that everybody had, going back full circle for me, was when my dad was alive and he lent credit. One day, while he was dying of stomach cancer, one day I came home from junior high school. I ran home because I knew that my dad was home. And, his battle with cancer was not going well at all. So I ran all the way home, which was a victory, actually, after having open heart surgery. I could run again. Oh, and look out. Sheesh. So I ran home. And I walked in the door, and my dad was at the kitchen table in his seat. And he had his Rolodex out, and he had the phone out, and he was calling his clients. And he was on the phone begging them to pay their bills. And I overheard one of the conversations where my dad had said, I understand, you understand, as do I, that this battle with cancer is not going well, and it will take me. But I'm not calling you today for that. I'm calling you today to ask you to please pay on your account for my family. For my family. My familia. And then he heard me, because I had come in the door like a quiet church mouse. And he said, my son Brian is home. I'm going to go spend some time with him. Have a great day. And hung up the phone. But he was in tears, and he had his box of Kleenex there, and he was wiping his eyes while he went and then spent time with me. I forget all of the different things that we did that day. I don't remember them. But I remember the trauma of seeing my dad there sitting at the phone crying because people owed him money and they weren't paying their bills. Yet on the other side of the equation, he was constantly lending people money for credit. So when my dad died, we were sitting in the car, in the limousine, in the front of the funeral procession, with this long funeral procession for miles. Just miles. It's the easiest way to explain it, a very long funeral procession. And I said to my mom, I said, Mom, there's something I don't understand. And my mom was always good, and is always good, with teachable moments. She would take the time that was required anytime the four of us had any questions. She was very focused on that. Hey, my child has a question, and I might be able to teach them and guide them with something. Teachable moments, the time stopped. It stood still when there was a teachable moment. And so my mom said, she said, what do you not understand? And I said, I don't understand. All of these people, well, not all of these people behind us, but a percentage of the people behind us owe Dad money. And none of them brought their checkbook with them. None of them have handed you, like they do in TV, The Godfather. None of them have handed you envelopes of cash. I don't get it. Our society says you pay off your debts, especially at time of death, especially when people are desperately in need of it. Even the church had screwed it all up too, sending the old pastor who got my dad's name even wrong. And so I learned at that young age that people do not pay their bills. It's part of the game, supposedly in business. And my mom said to me, and I'll remember this for the rest of my life, part of the reason for this video is so that maybe my nieces and nephews can learn from their great-grandmother. And that is, she said to me, she said, Brian, if, as your mom, you can live as guilt-free of a life as humanly possible, then you will never be back there. And when you learn that, and only I learned that from my mom, you couldn't learn that. Those 4 clients of mine didn't learn that from their mom or from my mom. They weren't in the car with us at that point in time. But I could convey that as a good, high-quality realtor to say, hey, understand that these things don't work. Here's what you're up against. And all 4 of them, Brian, can you relist our properties? And then I felt guilty for the relist because I had made some money when they bought the houses. And then here I was relisting their properties again to get them sold. And I felt guilty for that. So then, of course, I deducted down my commission structure to be able to help them as best as I possibly could to get them to break even. And 3 of them have broken even. Or it came pretty damn close to breaking even, within $1,000 of breaking even. That's a victory in so many different ways. The last one is going on right now. It's getting closer and closer. It's inching to the finish line where I will be able to get their house cleaned up and their house listed and their house sold because for the last 2 years, they've had a tenant living in their house not paying a dime in rent. I keep going by the house every so often. When I'm in that neighborhood, I go by that house just to take a photo to let them know what it looks like. They want me to go in and check the batteries and the smoke detectors and stuff. And I'm like, that's not my job. That's your job. And they won't come in to do that job. Okay, fine. I can't help all of it. But what I can do is I can drive by and I can keep an eye as best as I possibly can on that house. So the other day, the person that was living in that house was out doing some decorating to their house for Halloween. And I happened to swing by, and so I grabbed my phone and I took a quick photo. And I said, here's what your house looks like, and here are the people that are living there. And he keeps saying, hey, we're getting close. Hopefully in the next 10 days, we'll have an eviction notice for them. 2 years of no rent. 2 years that he's had to make the mortgage payment. And we don't even know the utilities. We don't even know if the utilities are on in the place. We don't even know if he's not going to have a $5,000 or $6,000 utility bill when we're all done with this. I mean, think of this. And yet money is getting free again. It's down to 3.5%. Oh my God, Brian, I'm going to go out and buy houses in the city of Windsor. This is going to be great. I'm going to make all kinds of money. Yet NVIDIA stock is up over 100% this year. Yet Meta stock is up over 65% at least this year. Wouldn't it have been easier to take your $100 you had or $10,000 that you had and put that in NVIDIA stock because your $10,000 would now be worth $20,000? Your $10,000 would now be worth $16,500, and you wouldn't have had any of the hell of having to make payments. You wouldn't have drawn down your college savings account for your children to be able to pay for a rental property where people are living scot-free. So I beg you, I implore you, when you're thinking about, gee, money is free again, what can I go do? Do something different than buying a house where people are going to live in it for free. Get away from that. There's a guy at the storage unit that I'm getting ready to go to because I got some work I got to do here today. But his family owns rental trailers. Think about it. He went to the trailer place, used his credits to buy a $12,000 trailer. Decorated it all up, had them decorate it all up, put his sticker on there. He has got a website. And he rents the trailer for $120 a day. And that trailer, on 3 days, all of a sudden he was renting it the fourth day. So then he went out and he bought another trailer. He's got car hauling trailers. He's got trailers for days now. All paid off. All creating free revenue for him. Well, I don't have to worry about anybody paying because before you even rent the damn thing, they were there last night. I was there at 10 o'clock last night, and he was renting a trailer. He was sitting there with some bright lights on, running credit cards and helping somebody hook up a trailer. $160 today from that trailer last night. So think about it. Owning rental properties is not the place to be because your tenant does not pay the bill. You learn that when your dad dies at the age of 42 of stomach cancer and you're in the car and you ask your mom, I just don't understand. On TV, they were handing envelopes of cash to each other when somebody died. Why aren't there any envelopes of cash coming to you? So I hope that helps. I hope it helps to put a little different perspective on anybody thinking about, gee, I'm going to go into the rental house business. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's not the greatest thing since sliced bread. Very, very, very few people are very successful with the concept of rental houses. And for God's sakes, if you're going to buy a rental house, then only buy a rental house that you can afford to make the payment on with your extra income because your tenant will not pay you. It's fundamental. Gee, I can't believe people are going to be this stupid to rent me a house and have me not pay them. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Why do I sign up for that? That's what a tenant believes. And then the government, they're so backed up, it's going to take them 2 years to boot me. I can live free for 2 years of my life. Think about your financial plan for that. Gee, I don't have to pay rent. I don't have to pay $2,000 a month in rent or $2,500 a month in rent for 2 freaking years. That's 50 grand I don't have to cough up. That's 50 grand. Even if I could afford to make the payment, that's 50 grand I can have in my retirement account at 32. And that way, by the time I'm 62, that 50 grand has grown by 6.8% over 30 years. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Sign me up. That's what a tenant believes. And why wouldn't they do that? So think about it. If you have any questions about Windsor real estate, if you're thinking about getting into the rental housing business, please don't hesitate to give me a jingle. Share this video with your family member who's thinking it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's not. There's other ways. There's other ways to make money. Buy Hot Wheels car collector. reactions. I'm sorry, but this week's sales in my Hot Wheels collectibles business was $1,100. My profit margin is running at 40%. So I made $440 doing absolutely nothing other than shipping Hot Wheels cars. Now, yeah, I've got to go to the office a little bit later on today, and I got some paperwork to do, and I got some Hot Wheels cars to have to ship. But woe is me. They're paying me every single week for Hot Wheels cars. And I've got employees that manage my Hot Wheels cars business. I actually sat with my employee in the Hot Wheels car business the other day, and I said, hey, let's bump this up a little bit. We've got a lot of inventory sitting here now that's all paid off. So why don't we go and start looking at a Shopify site? We have an Etsy site right now. Why don't we think about a Shopify site? Can you go and do the research? Because he's a young kid. He's 23. Can you do the research and let me know whether you feel that a Shopify site makes some sense? Because we're listing these cars on Etsy, so what's the difference if we list it on Shopify and it gets spread across 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 different internet channels? We'll sell that much more. Because I'm a little top heavy with cars right now. And the real estate business and the cleanup business has taken on a life of its own, and it might be time. To get out of the Hot Wheels business. No, I don't know that part. Because I've really changed that business around. I only focus on Redline Hot Wheels from 1968 to 1975. And so because that's all I focus on, that's all I buy. And right now, there's not a lot today. There's one auction going off. All across the United States, one auction with Hot Wheels cars that I could possibly buy. Across all of Canada and the United States, one auction. So they are getting harder to find, and that's why the values are holding up on them so well. So anyways, think about that before you think about buying a rental property, before you think about calling me up and saying, hey, Brian, I want to buy a rental property. The 4 people that bought rental properties all had to sell. 3 of them have pretty much broken even, and the 4th one has a massive loss. An earth-shattering loss. I feel so bad for that loss. And hopefully, in the next month, we might have the bleeding stopped finally. There's lots of other ways to make money. I'll share one last thing on this video with you. So that person that has this house knows electronic equipment inside out. Inside out. Brian, have you ever run into any electronic equipment? Just snap a photo of it, send it to me, and I'll let you know what it's worth. Do you realize how much electronic equipment there is in the globe? How many capacitors and whatever the hell the things inside the electronic equipment are? He could open up a business just doing that, shipping that across the globe. Just buying, and selling. And make far more money doing that than losing thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in the rental house business in Windsor. I hope this helps. I hope that you can share this with anybody that's thinking about, gee, I want to go buy a rental house. What are you thinking? Is what I'd ask the question of. Anyway, That's today's video. That's today's learning about the Windsor real estate market. I'm Brian. I'm here in my t-shirt, just waking up this morning, and I desperately wanted to spend 25 minutes of my valuable time with you trying to guide you on why you don't want to buy rental properties. One last thing to share with you. Get this. So in the city of Windsor, there were families in the city of Windsor that were buying houses at, back in the day when houses were free, $50,000. And they were renting those houses. And they built up big portfolios of rental houses. They did. They've sold them all. Why? Because the rental house business sucked. It was so much work. Now, one of them, he's been very successful. He's got a Jeep and a trailer, and he Airbnbs them. Now, he's making some really good money, but every day, right now, he's out in his Jeep with his trailer, and he's going from Airbnb to Airbnb, doing bedding and changing things out and washing and doing laundry, and he works his butt off every frickin' day. And even he's been selling his product. He's like, I got to start slowing down, Brian, because there's things I want to go do now. I got some money saved now. So I want to start doing some things. I want to go on that repositioning cruise for 17 days. And I really can't because I have all these Airbnbs and there's nobody that will be willing to go and do this. I've tried to hire the people to do this job and nobody wants to do it. Yeah, it's the next thing. Nobody wants to work. Well, luckily, I've got some good people around me that like to work hard. That's what we were doing yesterday. That's why I'm feeling it today. And I still have to take this. Think about that for a minute. Here I am doing video with you with an estate cleanouts business that the reason I do it is to help people. And I cleaned out a one-bedroom apartment yesterday with Mike. The gentleman that lived there was paying $1,050 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. That apartment rents on the first of the month to a new person for $1,300 a month. The landlord, get this crap out of here, Brian. Unfortunately, the gentleman died at home in his apartment in bed. And he laid there for 5 days before the landlord recognized, gee, I haven't seen him for a while, and gee, there's this smell coming from his unit. And the last thing that I have is the thing I really don't want. I don't think you'd want it either. Is the bed in the trailer to go to the dump today. That's the thing I have. It's the last part of helping this family. It's the bed. Doing the unpleasant stuff. Did I have to take that project? Oh, heck no. Can I live without the $650 or $700 of helping this family? Oh, heck yes. But Mike wasn't doing anything. Trevor wasn't doing anything. We needed some projects, to be honest with you. And I felt comfortable enough with the concept that, hey, I don't have to expose Trevor to it. Mike came in and he's like, no big deal, Brian. Because his lifestyle is a little different. I said, are you a hunter? He said, well, sure, of course. Sure, absolutely, no problem. Oh, okay. Because it's a little different idea. And so we did that project. That's what's got to go to the dump today. It's sitting on the trailer. Got to go over there. Everybody's going to be looking at me at the dump because it looks like it's a crime scene bed. It just does. And it'll go into the incinerator and it just gets incinerated and it's all fine. It gets taken care of. There was no fluids or anything like that. It's not like a big thing. It's not like I'm cleaning up from the body that's been left behind and things. Technically I am, but it's just the bed. There was nothing else, because I don't have the certifications and all of those kinds of things. It's just the bed goes into the incinerator, and away it goes. But I was helping a family. That's the requirement. Am I helping a family? Do I have the time to be able to do this? Is it a teachable moment? Do you want a rental property where your tenant might possibly die in your house and you might have to clean up from them? Because that's what the rental business is. It happens. Probably every day it's happening. Because people do pass away. At some point in time, I will no longer be with you. And what was fun when we were doing this project too is I'm still very, very tough on my feet. And I was one time going up the stairs, Mike was standing behind me. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, just give me a second. The brain thing, you just did the brain thingy thing. Just give me a second. I'm an old guy, Mike." "All right, well, if you need me, you just sit down. If you need me to go ahead and handle the rest of it." "I get it, Mike. That's why we work together." It was a good, hard day of work. It was 7 hours of work yesterday to help this family. And now I've just got about 1 hour of work today and a fee over at the dump to get rid of this bed. The total billing for the family is going to be about $650 of labor. No big deal. But that's $650 that goes to paying off the credit card too. And I don't like debt. You go to work when you have debt. And one of my fears is now that I'm just about out of debt because the credit card will be paid off. I just sold $1,100 worth of cars. Etsy just wired me $1,100 in, and I'll have the $600 and some $700 from this clean out that pays off the credit card again. It's a wonderful place to be, because then I can go ahead and invest some more money in my business to do more things. I could buy it. I've already got a trailer. Maybe I start renting my trailer out. $100 a day. I've already got one trailer. And it's all technically paid off because of the $650, $700 from the estate clean out was all revenue that the trailer earned. Because I worked the trailer yesterday. So think about the rental housing business. Every family that had rental properties have all sold them in the city of Windsor, and they've all bought commercial properties. The reason they bought commercial properties is you boot the non-paying tenant instantly. You don't pay the rent, you're out. We're coming with a truck, we're opening the door, and we're taking your stuff out, we're moving it over to storage in your name. Completely different business. And maybe you want to build up some rental properties and go through the pure hell of house rental properties to be able to finally turn them 5 or 6 or 7 years into commercial property. Maybe that's what you need to do. And if that's your plan, then call me and say, "Brian, this is what my plan is. I'm going to go through pure hell, and I'm going to hope and scratch and claw my way to a commercial property." That'd be all the right reasons. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching this video. Sorry it ran a little bit long. I'm into 35 minutes here, But I sure hope it helps some people to understand that rental houses are pure hell. And I own none. And I have money that's sitting in the corporation. I could go out and buy a rental property, or 2 or 3. There's even a business that would make a lot of sense to plug in that's for sale right now for $1.5 million. It's not worth $1.5 million. It might be worth about $1.1 million, but the numbers really don't make sense because it's run by a family right now. And if somebody like me bought the business and needed to hire employees, the numbers don't make any sense at 1.1 either. That's why I haven't bought that business. And it's in a kind of rundown building in the inner city. People smash the windows from time to time. Why would I want that in my life at 57? When I want to go on repositioning cruises for 23 days. Sounds like a lot nicer place to be. Gee, where are you? I'm out in the middle of the ocean. Having a margarita. Don't bother me. Think about where you want to be in your life, and I guarantee you that the pure hell of rental houses probably don't factor in. They only factor in for a very, very select few people who can even do that business. There's not everybody that can take a crime scene bed and be responsible for it. But I learned I could do it. Mike helped. A good employee is a good employee all the way around. So if you have questions about Windsor real estate, if you have questions about valuation, I am your guy. I'm here, sitting here in my t-shirt, getting started on a Monday morning. I'm going to have my bowl of Cheerios. I bought some chocolate chip cookies last night too. I'm supposed to have very many chocolate chip cookies, but I broke down and bought some chocolate chip cookies so I can have my bowl of Cheerios again this morning with my chocolate chip cookies in it. Kind of healthy. And get started, go over to the dump and take this crime scene bed over to the dump today by myself. And then I got to come back and I got a whole bunch of cars to ship and a whole bunch of paperwork I got to be doing on the real estate business. It seems like I've got an offer coming today on Poisson. It seems like Poisson may be sold. There's a few other things that have to happen with it. One is I got to get the offer coming across the channel so that we can sign it. But it looks like it might have an offer on it, which would be good if it all falls into place. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Looking forward to helping you in any way. 519-995-6145, 519-995-6145. I'm Brian signing out. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, which is also a massive victory. The 2 months, and I'm still not fully right, but I'm right enough. The 2 months of whatever the hell was that I was going through with the brain has cleared up some lasting effects that I'm just chugging along and working through. Thanks for your concern. I do feel better. You can see it in my face as well too. And I'm just getting out and going back to doing my thing. I want to try to get 3 more properties closed before the end of the year. And then I want to try to get 10 more properties closed. So 3 and 7 up until April 1st, because April 1st is my anniversary date at Real. And then I reboot my commission structure, goes back to 0. And I start all over again. It's like pushing the string uphill. But anyways, there's things coming that are being developed, and that's part of what I've got to get started focus on doing too, is getting some other stuff over to Adam. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. You're going to see some videos getting posted, 4 videos. There's 2 sets of 4 videos getting posted about me and about a thing that I'm getting ready to launch. Those are for Adam, because what he's going to be doing is he's going to be taking the Brian A. Price website, and he's going to be taking those videos and putting them on the main page of the Brian A. Price website, which will be part of a advertising campaign to be able to get more listings for 2025. That's what's going on there. My idea. I have harebrained ideas, but they work. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Go enjoy your Monday. I'm looking forward to getting out there and doing my Monday here too. Bye-bye.